Let me tell you a little story about Jehovah Witnesses and why you should watch out for them. And if you don't know who Jehovah Witnesses are, I'll explain that later in the video. And I don't want you to think there's some dangerous people. They're not. They're one of the most respectful, kindest people I've met. So let me take it back from the beginning, my beginning. My mom's a Catholic, so I was raised Catholic my whole childhood. Around freshman year, I completely lost my whole faith in God. I didn't think there was no God. Christmas of 2022, going to 2023, when I got my faith back and started believing in God again. But some issues. In high school, I picked up some really bad habits. So going mid 2023, I got my Bible. It took me a while. Like I said, around 2022, Christmas going to 2023, I started believing again in God. So it took me like 6 months before I got my Bible. But by then, I completely believed there was a God. But like I hanged out with a really bad friend group. I knew I couldn't be hanging around with them no more. And I knew they wouldn't accept God. I understood that sharing the word with God with them, they wouldn't understand. Mostly me being brand new to Christianity, I wasn't able. I would have probably just scared them away. Family, they were, like I said, my mom was a Catholic, but she had some issues with it. She wasn't really devoted. My family too, they say they believe, but they have some issues with it too. So I just didn't talk about God to them either. The Catholic Church, I some things against it, so I didn't consider myself a Catholic. So I was looking for a church, and because I was really anxious back then, I wouldn't go out there, looking for a church, because I was, like I said, I was really scared, really anxious. A friend group, like I said, I lost my whole friend group. Not completely, it still took me a while, but I just wouldn't talk about God to them, even though I wanted to talk about God. But I was afraid. So I was pretty much alone, completely alone, you know. So going for 4 months later, around September, I was visiting my mom. She lives in a three-story apartment complex. I was leaving, and she lives on the top third floor. So I was going down, and on the second floor, there were some Jehovah Witnesses. And when I passed by, they said hi, and I said hi, and they asked me a question. They asked me, "Do I believe in God?" And me, I was excited. I was like, "Oh yes, I do." I was so excited to talk about it. So I was like, "Yes, I do believe in God." And they were like, "Oh, we started talking back and forward." And back then, I didn't know what Jehovah Witnesses was, until it took me 1 week later until I found out. So yeah, we were just talking back and forward, and they were just telling me how God's name, it was Jehovah. In my mind, I just was like, oh, perfect. Another name we can call God. Jesus Christ, Lord, God. Oh, just another name. So I just brushed it off. I didn't find that a big deal. But here's the thing about them. The thing is, they believe the Bible in almost all of it, but here's the thing they're missing. They believe that Jesus Christ is not God and that he was just a prophet. And that right there is the main point. And as a Christian, we believe that Jesus Christ himself is God. And they don't believe that. And that's when I was like, oh,